Thanks so much for joining another episode on my YouTube channel. My name is Mariah and I am the founder of Content Queen. This is just a channel of where I'm going to give you really good tips and tricks to become an aspiring writer or freelancer, working full-time for yourself and living that laptop lifestyle. So today I'm going to be talking about research and how to research to find killer content. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it to all your channels on social media and click the subscribe button. And each fortnight I will be providing lots of tips and tricks on everything from being confident as a writer, finding your niche, to obviously researching for that killer content so that you can continually provide for your clients and your audience. So what I want to do first is jump in and talk about the first point of call when I start writing. So as soon as I get a topic, what I will do is I will digest the information that the client has given me, and then I'll jump on Google and do a Google search, see what other people are writing about, look at some experts' comments and feedback on that. What I'll do is I will just copy a heap of information over into a Word document so that I can easily digest it a little bit later. So that's kind of where I start my basis of researching. But from there, it does not definitely stop. With a journo background, I've learned a lot of tricks and tips on how to find really good research. Also, what you want to do is when you're writing articles, you just want to jump on Google Trends and look at the keywords and what people are searching. So if you type in your topic, you will see where it's relevant in what countries, and also what kind of topics are being spoken about in relation to your keywords. So say for instance you are going to be writing on gotta put myself on the spot because I don't have any notes. If you were going to be writing on how is vitamin C really good for your skin, so you will type in vitamin C and skin into Google Trends and you'll see some of the things that people are searching, and that really helps develop your headings so that when you have a killer headline for your writing, but it also might give you some ideas of where to go with that topic. So people might be searching on vitamin C gels rather than creams, or all types of different topics related to that you can actually use as ideas to base around your blogs or whatever content you are writing. Another really good hack I learned from studying at university is Google Scholar is your bestie, and Google Books. Now, the good thing about Google Scholar is a lot of it's free as well as Google Books. So what you'll do is you'll just type in maybe your headline or your starting headline just to get some really, really good information on that topic. You might not use any of it, but it's good to get yourself, give yourself a little bit of a background. Also, don't be afraid of Wikipedia. I know they say in uni don't use it, but don't use the content, just use it to kind of gain a level of information on what you're writing on, because research is so important. I always find once I have my research down pat, I can write 1,000 words in under an hour. Like yesterday, I wrote 2,500 words in an hour and a half because I knew my topic. I researched, I knew what I wanted to write about. So what you want to do is jump on Google Scholar, jump on Google Books, type in what you're searching for, and then once you find some articles, type in your keyword into find. That is such a good little hack. Once you type that in, it'll bring up all the pages that are relevant to your keyword. So say you're typing in vitamin A or vitamin C, sorry, because we're not going to confuse you. Say you're typing in vitamin C. You type in that keyword into a scholarly article or a book that you have found, and it'll come up with all of the information that you need related to that keyword. And then you can sift through and pick up bits that you need. So what I would recommend is having a document with all the research that you have collated over that time. And always go back to that and kind of segregate it into categories, and that's how you find your subheadings. But anyway, we'll go into that another time. And then when you're doing your research, don't be afraid to try different search engines. Yes, Google has so much on it, But does anyone remember Ask Jeeves? Do we ask Jeeves anything anymore? I don't really know. Anyway, go on Bing. For some reason, my Mac has like defaulted to Bing. If anyone knows how to fix that, please drop comments below because I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, I always find if I type in Bing, I get obviously a lot different research to when I type into Google. But some of it is actually better. I still don't want Bing as my default, but anyway. So try different search engines. Try clicking on different tabs in search engine. Try. Obviously, you've got Google Scholar, Google Books, but different search engines have different platforms. So try, news. There might be news articles on what you're looking at. Don't be afraid to go beyond page 1. Yes, we're all looking for SEO and getting on page 1, but sometimes a little old page 2 or 3 have really good information. The SEO just isn't up to scratch. So don't be afraid if your content, what you're looking for, isn't on page 1 or 2, isn't on page 1. Don't be afraid to go to page 2 or 3, or don't even be afraid to scroll past the first 3 options. We're all guilty of going, we'll go 1 or 2, that'll do. Always make sure that you are really diving into as much information as you can because, like I said, once you know your topic, you will just be able to write for hours on that topic. But you really like that research piece is what takes the longest, I find, as a writer. You really need to get that down pat because once you have that, you will just be able to write on that topic and done. Like the writing part isn't the hard part. It's the research. You really need to make sure you've got that really, really up to scratch. And then also the other one that you can use is forums, Facebook groups. Don't be afraid to use Facebook groups to ask questions about your topic. There will be so many people that will have information out there. Also, I love Quora. They have so many good, they have something like millions and millions of questions on there. Your topic will be on there. So don't be afraid to use Quora, ask questions on Quora, make a profile where you go on there to ask questions. People will be more than happy to answer. You've got Reddit. There's so many forums. Doesn't mean that research is, exactly what you need, but it's just a basis. Because I'm going to keep going back to this. Once you have your research, it doesn't mean you're going to use everything that you collate. It's just giving you that background. Like Wikipedia is your background, Quora is your background, and then you've got, your backups from the blog posts that you find online, from the scholarly articles that you find online, from the books that you look at. One of the tips that I had at uni was what I would do is if there was a book on Google Scholar that I couldn't access because it was, they only give you like a certain amount. They might even give you like the first 3 pages. I always found Amazon and iBooks will give you a sample, and it might just so happen to give you the first at least intro or summary. Like if it's a research book, a lot of the times they have an executive summary, and that at least gives you something that you can use to then base, a bit more research around it. But, Google is going to be your best friend with this type of research. It's always going to give you the information that you need straight up, but at the same time, don't be afraid to source outside of Google. Sometimes it might be as simple as a couple of blog articles, reading a couple of blog articles, but at the same time, it will never hurt to just continue to develop and get more research. The more you kind of move through the article writing stage, because what I find is if you just start trying to, you might read one article and then start writing, and then you might read another article and write more, it's probably not going to link up because you want your writing style to flow through your piece. So just make sure that you are continually grabbing that research to begin with and then sifting through it before you write. And yes, research can be so draining and really time consuming, but at the same time, like I said, as soon as you get that research element done, the writing's the fun part. The writing's the part where you can put your personality into it. The writing part is going to take you half the amount of time your research is, but just always make sure that you put that as a priority. What I'll do first is just to really digest that topic. And you know what you can do is grab all your research, put it in a Word document, sift it through into categories and subheadings, read through it, push it aside. If you have time, I know we all have really tight deadlines, but if you can, just put it aside, leave it for, I don't know, a couple of hours at least, and it'll be in the back of your mind, and then you'll go, light bulb moment, I know exactly what I'm going to write on. I know what themes I'm going to have in my piece, and then you'll come back and you'll just smash it out. When it comes to writing for, more personal writing, when it comes to research, the types of things that are really going to help you out is stats. If you're coming from a personal perspective, you want to also back it up with some stats as well, or even just contacting different people to give you an insight into what kind of lessons they've learned from that as well. What I find, if I'm going to do, I wrote my book, it's all about kind of, my book is on life lessons of myself. But at the same time, I've researched, what other people, and reading, in Facebook communities, what other people are doing as well. And that'll make you also seem a little bit more relatable as well, because you can see that other people are going through that as well as you. And you can also frame it in a way that really speaks to your audience, not just yourself. Yes, we want to write for ourselves and for someone like us, but at the same time, if we can kind of empathise what other people are going through as well, it's going to reflect in our writing, and people are going to really relate back to what we have to say. So if you can take anything away from this in terms of research, it's use Google Trends to find your keywords to start with. Google Scholar and Google Books is amazing. Different search engines, don't be afraid to use them. Google is awesome, but there is also Bing. I don't know about Ask Jeeves. Give it a go. Go beyond page 1. See what's on page 2 or 3. See what's even past the first 3 listings. And use forums, ask questions. Quora is a great one. I know it's kind of stemmed away from the Yahoo Answers, I think it was. Quora will give you so many answers on there, or don't be afraid to post your own questions. And then once you have all that content, or even getting that content, one of the things that I always find is you've got a massive blog article on your topic and you're like, where do I start? That's why subheadings are awesome. Look for the subheadings. Look for, there's a little hack on any internet browser. It's called Find. Type in your keyword. It'll come up, just like in your Google Scholar and Google Books. Find where your keywords are. Read those parts. As a journo, and when I did research when I was studying, sometimes we don't have time to read a whole blog article. But when you've got subheadings and a conclusion, you will find really key points under those subheadings, and your conclusion is like the bee's knees. That'll give you an insight to that article. It won't give you all the answers, but it will summarise and show you whether that article is relevant to you or not. The conclusion will give you a lot. The intro, a bit fluffy. Your conclusion has a summary of that piece, and it'll tell you from the minute you read that whether it's going to be useful for you. Also, in like Google Scholarly articles, your exact summary is also going to give you a lot more insight. But just search your keyword. If you've got that keyword, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to find the information you're looking for. So once you have all of your content on a document, sift through it, segregate it, go away from it, wait for those light bulb moments, and come back. This will be the easiest way for you to digest the research, because sometimes we are trying to go 100 miles an hour writing content, getting content out there. Understand we have high turnarounds. Even if you give yourself half an hour, what I'm trying to do as a freelancer as well is when I get the job, look at it first, do the research straight away, even if it's due like a week. Get the research done, put it in a document, and leave it for a Like if I've got other jobs due, just leave it. You've done the research. The research is the hardest part. I cannot stress this enough. But it is also the most important part. And if you don't have a journalism background, it doesn't mean that you can't research just like a journo, or just because you haven't been to uni doesn't mean you can't research scholarly articles like a university student. It's all about being smart and using those key tips to form a basis of your own research plan. But I find it's just, there's so much content out there and so much information. It's just trying to sift through it and find what's relevant to you. Search your keywords. Make sure you read that conclusion. The intro will give you a lot as well, but the subheadings, that is why subheadings are really critical. So that's another tip for when you're writing. Put in those subheadings so that people can find what they're after. The reality of reading content is not everyone's going to read your whole article. But if there's subheadings in there, they're going to find the best information out of that. And even if they take one thing from your article because of your subheadings, well, your job is done. So that's kind of just a short summary on researching. As part of my one-on-one coaching, I really dive into this researching aspect to help you become the best researcher you can be. Research, if we haven't always studied or we haven't had a background in a field where we have to research constantly, it is really daunting. So if you work with me one-on-one, one of the segments we work on is research. Please send me a message if you are looking at one-on-one coaching to become a freelancer or aspiring writer so you can live that ultimate laptop lifestyle, traveling the world, writing for yourself, working for yourself. Please send me a message, connect to me on all my socials, and subscribe to this channel because I'll be giving content every fortnight. I also do that on my blog where I give a bit more of an in-depth analysis on some of these topics. So I hope you got something out of it today. Also, next few episodes I will be somewhere in Europe. I leave on Friday. I'm so excited, but I want to take you through what it's like to live that laptop lifestyle. I'll be doing it for 6 weeks, traveling and working. I'll be going with 3 amazing friends on a few tours, and you can follow me my journey on Instagram and just see what I get up to, but also see how I manage writing and traveling, because that is like one of my goals, is to do that. And we'll see, this is kind of the first mini test, 6 weeks on the road. And please send me a message if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. If you do want to engage with me for one-on-one coaching, please go to my website, connect with me on socials. We can have a chat about a plan that we can structure to help you live those most amazing dreams, because remember, content is king. So why don't you become a content king or queen? All right, I will talk to you guys next fortnight and have the most amazing week.